Thank you, sir. Good evening and welcome to tonight's slate of special presentations. Tonight, our first special presentation of the evening, we'd like to put some upcoming stars in the spotlight. As many of you know, Moreno Valley is home to a lot of star athletes who set themselves apart from the pack. In the case of these young folks behind me, they speed and hurdle past the competition. Congratulations, you guys. I'm going to step off to the side because she can't be seen. The Moreno Valley Rockets are a track and field club led by their coach, Mr. Alfred Fenix. To those in the audience who are or were athletes, you know that track and field is not an easy category of sports. The need for speed, agility, and patience make it one of the most specialized sports for a reason. The Moreno Valley Rockets are no exception, with scoring high in competitions all along the West Coast, with most recently competing in the United States Track and Field Junior National Olympic Championships. That in of itself is a hefty accomplishment. Can we give these young athletes another hand, please? And with that, the City of Moreno Valley has opted to recognize this organization for their recent accomplishments and provide them with the courage to continue to pursue higher and harder goals with the certificates of recognition they are holding tonight. Coach Fenix, would you like to say a few words about your team?
Yeah, 34 years ago, this month, the Moreno Valley Rockets track team was born, and we've always worn Moreno Valley on our jerseys. We couldn't have done it without the Optimus Club, Technicolor, the Board of Supervisors in Riverside, and other organizations that I can't think of right now. But I'm very blessed to have these athletes, but the most important thing are my coaches. They have been with me for a few years, some of them longer than that, but Mr. Marcus Graham, he's been with me for about 3 years. In fact, he ran with me when he was 10, 11 years old. Mrs. Pearson, she's my hurdle coach, and Mr. Pearson is my sprint coach. And we have a couple other coaches that couldn't make it tonight. But I'm very honored to represent Moreno Valley. And we give it all the glory to God. Thank you.
Well, I will tell you, Mr. Fenix, the City of Moreno Valley is happy to have you guys wear that name and our city on your uniforms to represent us. So thank you guys very much. Take some photos. Last one has to speak.
Are we good here?
Yeah, everyone just kind of scoot in towards the middle right here. There we go. Make sure I can see everybody. Just coming a little bit. There we go. Wonderful. All right, do a couple. We're gonna do 1, 2, and 3. Let's change that setting. All right, and 1, 2, and 3. One more. 1, 2, and 3.
Wonderful. Do we want to allow families to come in?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
say there was a halo look for you. You guys are good to head down. As you guys are coming out. You guys can stick for the rest of the meeting, but it might be a little bit more.
Definitely.
Thank you for that.
That's why we did it for Jeremy. He's got more of a shot.
And for our next presentation, I'd like to invite Councilmember Bernard up to the podium and the microphone for our second presentation.
For our next presentation, we would like to bring light to a very important subject in public health. It is not a contractable disease like flu or the cold, but something that's happening all the time in our bodies. I would like to specifically talk about October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As you all may know, breast cancer is a deadly disease that targets everyone, not just women, although women are at higher risk to be diagnosed with this disease. Thankfully, however, breast cancer is treatable when caught early on, and with the help from our healthcare providers and loved ones, we can defeat this disease. With that being said, we have two members of a great organization that help greatly with preventing, treating, and conquering this disease, Dr. Alexandra Clark and Dr. Lisa Mahoney. Hello. Okay. All right. Please join me. I appreciate you guys being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Whereas National Breast Cancer Awareness Month was founded in 1985 by a partnership between the American Cancer Society and Imperial Chemical Industries, with the main goal of increasing awareness of the disease while raising funds to increase research into the causes, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and cure for breast cancer. And 1 in 8 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, with 2023 alone having an estimated 300,000 women in the United States being diagnosed with the disease. And breast cancer, when caught in its earliest stages, has a survival rate of 99% due to the advancements in detection and treatment methods in recent years that stem from the awareness and generous donations made to this campaign. And the city of Moreno Valley acknowledges the additional psychological, emotional stress induced after diagnosis and wishes to let all members of Moreno Valley community know that you are cared for, and we honor their incredible resilience of breast cancer survivors and offer our heartfelt support to those currently battling this disease. The city of Moreno Valley also recognizes and remembers all of those who have passed away fighting this terrible disease. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and city council of the city of Moreno Valley, on behalf of its residents and staff, does hereby recognize the month of October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Dr. Mahoney, Dr. Clark, do you have any words?
Thank you all. I'm Aleka Clark. I'm the Chief Medical Officer at Riverside University Health System. We want to thank the mayor and the council members for spending time tonight to really bring awareness to what's happening in our community across Riverside County, but also here in our own backyard in Moreno Valley. We're pleased and honored to have our hub of healthcare system right here in our backyard, about 12 minutes down the road. And we're just, honored to partner with all of you to serve our community, to make sure that we're bringing health and longevity and cure when there is disease to the people that we serve. Dr. Lisa Mahoney is one of our radiologists at Riverside, and she actually specializes in many things, but one of her passions is in breast cancer early detection. And she's going to briefly share with you some of what we're doing at Riverside to ensure that breast cancer is caught early and therefore treated so that we can have both the men and women that develop this disease grow old, see their children grow up, spend time with their grandchildren, and live fruitful lives. So thank you again. Dr. Mahoney?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come. Thank you to the Mayor Cabrera and the council members. So my job as a radiologist is to detect the breast cancer. My specialty is in breast radiology, but this is not something that I'm passionate about just because it's my job. I am actually the daughter of a bilateral breast cancer survivor who had a very aggressive breast cancer and shouldn't be here. And 22 years later, she's still here because of all, yes, please, because of all the advances that we've had in not only breast imaging, but in breast treatment. And as was stated before, 1 in 8 women will have a diagnosis of breast cancer in their lifetime. And we know without a doubt that catching breast cancer at its earlier stage is the best way that we can treat and cure it. One of the statistics I love to tell people about is that with our new modalities and our advances in breast imaging, we actually have a 95% survival rate or more when caught early. So at RUHS, we have different modalities that we can use in our tool chest. We have the screening modality, that's the gold standard, which is mammography, which everybody knows about. But we also offer breast ultrasound. We have breast MRI, and we are very, very blessed and thankful through a grant that we have from Stater Brothers and the Believe Walk, which just had their walk 2 weeks ago in Redlands. Hope you guys all had a chance to participate. But we have molecular breast imaging. We are actually only one of 2 locations in the state of California that has this modality. And the reason why this modality is really important to us is because one of the main uses is for people that have dense breast tissue. And you probably have heard that since this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, that breast density, dense breast tissue, is one of the limiting factors of mammography, which is the gold standard. And why is that important to us? Is because 50% of women in the United States have dense breast tissue. And what does that mean? It can obscure and hide or mimic breast cancer, making it difficult for us to treat it or to find it and detect it early. So molecular breast imaging is one of our newest modalities, and we're just very pleased to have this. And also, we have different clinics that we have. Not only are we just down the street here in Moreno Valley, we have a clinic that's in Corona and Jurupa to help, because we have a big county of Riverside. We have lots of patients, and sometimes it's really hard for them to come out to our main hospital. So we have our satellite stations. But just to end this, I just again want to let people know that we do reach out to the community as best as possible, because we are here to serve them. We had a booth at the Believe Walk, and just coming this Saturday, if anybody hasn't heard about it, there is the Pink on Parade that is honoring, and they sponsor the Pink House, which supports the Riverside County and people that have breast cancer. So it's a really important place for people to go to not only acknowledge breast cancer, and for those who have or are fighting or surviving breast cancer, have some outlets for them. So again, I wanted to thank you again for the opportunity to receive this recognition on behalf of RUHS and my colleagues and staff.
Thank you so much. And we have a few treats.
I have some treats for you. This is some of the things that we hand out, not only during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We have a couple extras, but our patients, every patient that comes in to have a breast biopsy, we have a little package for them. Because it is scary. It's a very scary thing to get a call back to have a breast biopsy. It doesn't mean you're going to have breast cancer, but that possibility is there. So I'd like to be able to hand out some of these to people.
You guys.
Want it?
I'll take a little bit of a step this direction.
Alrighty. Can we give RUHS one more big round of applause? Thank you so much for being here today and for the work that you're doing every day as well. Now, we will move to our third special presentation of this evening, and that is to recognize Filipino American History Month here in the city of Moreno Valley. And we definitely want to make sure that we are recognizing our diverse communities that are here in not just Moreno Valley, but across the Inland Empire, including here at home. And definitely don't want to do this alone, so I'll call up a few folks in just a moment. But similar to past council meetings, we'll be recognizing October as Filipino American History Month. The Filipino American community in Moreno Valley and in surrounding neighbor cities is strong and growing. The history of the Filipino Americans reaches back for centuries, which includes the Spanish colonization of both the Philippines and the southern United States. With that being said, it's an honor to present a proclamation and to be joined by the leaders at the Paris Valley Filipino American Association that are here with us, with President Mario Nazareno and his team. If you could please join me up here at the microphone, if we could give them a big round of applause. And here to my right, we have the proclamation, which I'm going to read some of the text before I pass the mic over to Mario and his team. So the proclamation reads, whereas the city of Moreno Valley is proud to be a home for vibrant communities, a diverse people hailing from all over the world, boasting distinct cultural heritages. And whereas in 2009, our United States Congress officially recognized October as Filipino American History Month in the United States, with the history of Filipinos migrating to the United States documented as early as 1587. Whereas we honor the generations of Filipino Americans who have given so much to our city, our state, and our nation, with over 2 million who live right here in California, while being the third largest individual ethnic group in California. Filipino Americans continue to find success in many areas, including business, medicine, education, law, public service, science and technology, arts, sports, and much more. And whereas during this month-long observance, our Filipino American communities will hold cultural and educational events that enhance our cultural perspectives, and all Moreno Valley residents join in these celebrations and express appreciation for the many contributions made by your families, friends, and neighbors. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and City Council of the City of Moreno Valley, on behalf of our residents and staff, does hereby recognize October as Filipino American History Month. And before I turn the mic over to Mario, I just want to share, personal experience that I've had, the honor of working with Paris Philam, short for Paris Filipino American Association, in Moreno Valley and Paris and Riverside. They're active across the Inland Empire, from doing things like mental health awareness and events and sharing those resources with the community, to hosting annual events just throughout the year for the community. And I really love how family oriented and community driven you are, and just how engaged you are in the community. So with that, I'll end it there, and I'll turn the mic over to Mario and your team if you'd like to share a few words. The floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mayor and the City Council. We have Mila Banks and Myrna Carrizo. Thank you for this recognition and acknowledgement to the Filipino Americans in the community. Thank you for the introduction, Mayor. But yeah, everything's complete. I don't need to say more on Filipino American History Month. But we have our first festival, an arts and culture festival, is coming Saturday at the City of Paris lawn. We are grateful with the City of Paris that who partnered with us in this event. October 21st, our first Barrio Fiesta. So we have food, we have resources, we have performances. So the event will start at 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So Mila, you want to say something?
I just wanted to show them a little picture.
Okay. So we have some flyers, so maybe we can give you later on. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. So as you heard it, you are personally invited now, and definitely look forward to joining you there as well, hopefully. So with that, I'm going to call up my colleagues on the council so we could take a few pictures as well.
Leave this up to be three on each side. Yeah. Okay. To get the council on this side, and we'll have you all on this side. Okay. Scoot in towards the center. If you all just scoot in just a little bit more. A little bit more, and
Guess they want us to look like we love each other.
there we go. Yes. Wonderful. All right, and 1, 2, and 3. And one more for safety. 1, 2, and 3. Wonderful.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you, Mario. Congrats. Yours, brother.
It's all yours. Thank you. Alrighty. So with that, that will conclude our special presentations for this evening. We will conclude at this moment, and we'll be back in just a few minutes for our regular council meeting. Thank you very much. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City as successor agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, the Board of Library Trustees, and the Moreno Valley Community Foundation. The City Council receives a separate stipend for CSD meetings. I now call this meeting to order on October 17, 2023 at 6:02 p.m. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilmember Bernard. Would you like to? Yes, Councilmember Bernard will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for the invocation given by Pastor John Velasquez from Discovery Christian Church.
Okay. Place your right hand over your left heart. Sorry, it's a joke my grandmother used to tell me to make sure I knew my right from my left. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to
the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, Pastor.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Father God, we come before you in the name of Jesus Christ, your Son, thanking you for the way you have shown your love to us, to the city of Moreno Valley, and the way you have shown your love upon the council here. Father God, we pray that you lead this night. We pray favor upon this city, God, with everyone that's involved, from everyone in uniform, the firefighters, the sheriffs, and even those that are working in the offices as well, Lord. We pray a special blessing upon all the families here, God, that they come to know your love and your goodness and your kindness. Bless the mothers and fathers that are raising up the next generation that will be also leaders of this city. Bless the schools, the school districts, the principals, and all the teachers as well. Father God, and we just want to ask your forgiveness, Lord, when we don't always do what you want us to do. May your grace abound upon Moreno Valley, Lord, and all of us here. We thank you for your presence here, and thank you, God, for revealing who you are to us. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. Once again, Pastor John Velasquez from Discovery Christian Church. Appreciate it. Madam Clerk, I'll turn to you for a roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Let the record reflect that Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz and Councilmember Marcus are absent. Councilmember Bernard.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Delgado.
Here, ma'am.
And Mayor Cabrera.
Here. And before we continue, I've been advised once again by staff, seeing as two of our council members are not present in the meeting, Councilmember Marquez and Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz, been advised by staff that we make a motion and take a vote to excuse absences for both council members from tonight's meeting. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. If we could please vote.
I'll do a voice vote.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Bernard.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Delgado.
Yes.
And Mayor Cabrera.
Yes. So that motion passes with 3 yeses. Okay. So a reminder that the city is currently offering Spanish translation services if anyone is interested in this feature. La ciudad actualmente ofrece servicios de traducción al español. Si alguien está interesado, por favor, nos avisan. Before we hear public comments this evening, I ask and encourage everyone participating to keep their comments respectful toward others, especially toward the individual speaking. I embrace and support the First Amendment right to free speech, including everyone's right to speak at this meeting and to share their views about issues concerning our city. But we can be more productive by being civil and respectful toward one another in this meeting. Finally, I ask that speakers bear in mind that comments will be limited for each speaker, and I encourage everyone to refrain from duplicating comments already made by others, other than to note that you agree or disagree with the prior comments. And I am just now realizing that I skipped a very important part of our agenda. Now I look up, staff is nodding, yes. So I'm going to pause there and go back to staff introductions, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Jane Halstead, City Clerk.
Patty Rodriguez, Senior Deputy City Clerk.
Stephen Quintanilla, City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Brian Mohan, Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
John Kelleher, Community Development Director.
Melissa Walker, Director, Public Works.
Jeremy Bubnick, Director of Parks and Community Services.
Robert Cardenas, Human Resources Director.
Ken Reichel, Chief Police.
And Jesse Park, Fire Chief.
Thank you, staff. My apologies for that. Got confused with the motion there. It kind of threw me off a little bit. And also want to give just a brief spotlight to our newest member here of Team Moval. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but is it Doctor? Is that correct, Doctor?
It is, but I go by Robert.
Robert. Okay, so our newest member of Team Moval. If we could give him a big Moreno Valley welcome, HR Director Robert. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so I'll go back to where I left off, which was, in order to preserve the meeting decorum, council and staff will not respond during public comments. Any council comments or questions to staff may be addressed during the council closing comments. Each speaker will be allowed a total of 3 minutes to comment on any and all items which are not on the agenda, which are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on non-agenda items?
Yes, we do, Mayor. We have about, so far, about 15, 22, pardon me, 22.
22 requests to speak. Okay.
Of those 22, there are several that request that their name be read into the record, but they do not want to speak.
Understood. Do you know approximately how many fall within that category?
7, Mayor.
7. Okay. So, yeah, we usually give 3 minutes per speaker. If that's okay with the council, or if they'd like to change that, that's okay. Okay. So, all right, we will go ahead and call up our first 3 speakers. And once again, each speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak in public comment.
Okay, the first 3 speakers are Mohammed Rahman, Hillary Hamaya, Melina Rahman. Oh, pardon me, Shahid Amin.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and our council member and Moreno Valley City Council staff. We are the International Mother Language Celebration Committee. You know, our 14,000 languages spoken in the world, now are left 800. So we are trying to save the mother tongue, mother language, and recently City of Paris was recognized February 21st is the International Mother Language Day celebration, and also they built the monument and in front of the library. So we need the center so we can process our program, our language learning. The kids can come and learn, and our senior come and teach the kids how to speak their mother language. It's everybody language, not even like all the world, they can recognize the center. So this Moreno Valley, they Google it and they see the Moreno Valley has the center, the international mother language, so people can learn from there. Also, our request to give us the center so we can process our program, and also I want to recognize City Council can recognize the International Mother Language. February 21st is the International Mother Language, as like a UNESCO recognized 1999. So if so City Council can open one proclamation to join with us. The February 21st is the International Mother Language Day. So I give to my time to my next speaker, Hillary.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Hillary Hamaya, and I will discuss the importance of how
My mother language, Tagalog, plays an essential role in my identity. Throughout my life, Tagalog has served its purpose of representing who I am. Whether it's my parents communicating with me or listening to content creators with the same origin, I'm constantly reminded of my background and culture. Its preservation by my parents has contributed to my social development, where I am able to better communicate with my relatives back in the Philippines, strengthening that bond. As language is a part of culture, Tagalog is a part of mine. My mother language contributes a personal connection to Filipino culture that I won't allow to fade away over time. My preservation of the language enhances my ability to keep the culture alive with the countless traditions and beliefs we have. So overall, I say that knowing your mother language not only opens room for your representation of where you come from, but also shows your identity. They are both intertwined. And in celebrating Mother Language Day and simply speaking your mother language, you show pride in who you are culturally. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next three speakers are Malia Rahman, Shahid Ahmed, and Dr. Kazi Nizam Udin.
Hello, my name is Malia Rahman. I am a senior in high school, I'm a scholar, and I am Bangladeshi. It is incredibly important for every single child to be able to speak and understand their mother language at home. My mother language is Bangla, and at home I fluently speak it with my parents and grandparents. It is very important to be able to communicate with my family. My mother language is key to a child's development. It gives the children the platform to comfortably speak their mind and properly understood. Being able to speak Bangla to my family and friends allows me to express myself fully. In history, many people fought to keep their language, such as in Bangladesh, where we fought the imposition of Urdu from the Pakistani government. I am proud to be Bangladeshi as we fought for our mother language, and we respect all of the mother languages in the world, which is why it is very important to have this center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next three speakers are Dr. Kazi Nizam Udin.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Council members, and all the high officials. I'm Shahid Ahmed. I'm a civil engineer. I work for Caltrans here in San Bernardino District 8. We are requesting to start a motion to have a mother language center in Moreno Valley. We already had the monument in City of Paris. They built it for us, spending $190,000. That was a big achievement from us in last February 21st, where all the countries, most of the consulate people from Los Angeles, they came, and all over the world, they know the City of Paris started. So City of Moreno Valley is a very nice and wonderful city. We want our neighbor city to have one cultural center. We don't want the monument every city. That's not required. It's good enough to have one in 50 miles. But in Moreno Valley, if we can get a international mother language center where we can bring all the country's people, children's and elderly people and young people sit down and talk with their mother language, share their thoughts and everything, that's going to help us to build a better relationship in this city and among all over the United States. So this is going to be a very good example for other cities to look into that. So I would request our mayor and other council members to please start a motion on this. Thank you very much.
The next three speakers are Bashir Ather.
Honorable Mayor, council members, officials, good evening. By trade, I'm a math professor in San Jacinto College. This is my 35th year. In this Thanksgiving, I will be in Moreno Valley. My first house in Moreno Valley. My 4 kids grown up here, did lot of things, and they are all successful now. I am here to preach one thing. We have a Shahid Minar in City of Paris. We need something for this city, my city. And anything you do, we'll really appreciate. And I keep my remaining times for my other speaker. I can talk 90 minutes, you know, I don't want to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Shaukat Alam.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and the city staff of Moreno Valley. I am Bashir Athar, and I have come from Bangladesh, and I am working as a senior scientist in a biomedical laboratory in Irvine for about 43 years here. And I have seen our Moreno Valley, Lake Paris, and Inland Empire have been developing faster than any other city, I would say, in the United States. And very recently, Lake Paris recognized International Mother Languages Day as February 21st, which started, let me give you a little bit of background of that. In 1952, when Bangladesh was under Pakistani rule, Bangladesh was speaking Bengali, and Pakistani was speaking Urdu. And Bengali people was the majority in the country and was producing more of the revenue for the whole country. But at one point, Pakistan wanted the whole Pakistan will be speaking one language, and that will be Urdu. So all the Bangladeshi people, they speak Bengali, and they didn't want to accept it. So they started making their point that there should be two languages at least. One is Bangla for the Bangladesh and people, and another one Urdu for Pakistani. And then Pakistan administration didn't like it, and in 1952, when university students went to protest, they ran on them and started shooting them on the street, left and right. And on that day, quite a few Bangladeshi students and people were killed by the Pakistani army just for the language. And the Bangla is the only language in the world, as far as I know, for which people gave their blood and their life. And I thank Lake Paris to recognize that day as February 21st as a International Mother Language Day. And I hope in other cities also somehow help us doing our mother language celebration. That's why we are here to ask for help from our city of Moreno Valley. Thank you so much.
The next three speakers are Shaukat Alam, followed by Safur Rahman, followed by Al Musak.
Honorable Mayor Cabrera, Honorable City Council members, Honorable City officials, and distinguished audience. My name is Shaukat Alam, and I'm a proud resident of Moreno Valley. I raised my family here, and I support the motion that my friends just said. And some of you already know that International Mother Language Day Monument has been inaugurated last year, or earlier this year in February, in partnership with City of Paris and also Consul General of Bangladesh in Los Angeles. There is also a small Bangladesh book corner in Paris Library. In front of that is the monument. So I raised my daughter here. She just graduated from a university. And we always spoke our mother tongue Bengali and brought our culture together. One thing that we liked about Moreno Valley is the diversity of the city. So we are requesting, as the city grows, maybe we can have a common place. Maybe we may just an initiator of it, but all the community members will be invited. We can share our language, our culture, our food, so that can bring us together. A lot of confusions going on all over the world on some minor things, and mostly because of ignorance. So in a small way, we can start it as a small footstep that can lead us to a better future. So, Honorable City Council, I respectfully request that you please seriously consider this to enrich our culture. Thank you and have a blessed evening.
The next three speakers are Safur Rahman, Al Masuk, and Brandon Karn.
Good evening.
Brandon Cam.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, and staff members of Moreno Valley City Hall. My name is Saifur Rahman Usmani. I reside in Moreno Valley City and staying with my family over 17 years in this city. I'm also a former commissioner of Parks and Recreations in the city in 2015. We have a large Bangladeshi community people living in this city, and some of the community leaders are present today, as you have seen. Our Bangladeshi community living in this city has participated in many community events, including 4th of July and parade and many cultural programs hosted by the city. In 2012 and 2013, our organizations, Bangladeshi American Cultural Society, California Society BACS, owned the back-to-back 2 times Best Marching Drill trophies on 4th of July celebration parade. Personally, me, in 2008, I also introduced myself, the first online 44 cents International Mother Language Day U.S. postage stamps approved by the U.S. Postal Service. Today, I'm here to address and bring to your attention to talk about some important topics about the annual celebration of International Mother Language Day, 21st February, and why it is important for our society. For many people, their native language is an important part of their identity. It can be a source of pride and a connection to their heritage. It also can give a great appreciation for their diversity of cultural and their ethnicity in the world. Through globalization, many languages are now under threat of disappearing altogether. At least 43% of the world estimated 6,000 spoken languages completely disappears. And the cultural and intellectual heritage is gone with it. And 40% of the people of the world don't have access to education in the language that they understand. International Mother Language Day to celebrate all languages and to remind us of the importance of understanding and respecting different cultures and their native languages. Bangladesh is the only nation in the world have fought for and won the independence on the basis of preserving the rights to speak its own language, Bangla, and this way has a special emotional significance across the country. On 17 November 1999, UNESCO proclaimed the 21st February to be International Mother Language Day. It was first observed in 21st February in 2000. In International Mother Language is observed on February 21st each year to promote linguistic and cultural diversity. It is our time to wake up and coming from the different countries, different cultural backgrounds and languages to protect our culture and native language before it is extinct. We have a plain.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rahman. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Al Masuk, Brandon Karn, and Sam Martinez.
Good evening. I know those 3 minutes can just fly right by, so our apologies there, but good evening.
Good evening. Very many known faces. Good evening, everyone. My name is Al Masuk. I am representing actually 2 parts right here. One as a Bengali, Bangladeshi part of the community member. I am asking to support our fellow Bangladeshi to have the 21st February recognized from City of Moreno Valley as International Mother's Day language. That's the first part. And second part, I am a resident of Moreno Valley and a small business owner of Moreno Valley right here. I have a flower shop, and I am organized a Moreno Valley Sports Club where all the youth, elderly, young kids, we come in and we play. Okay, we have been since 2018, and we have organized many events, Asian games, many other important games like chess, badminton, table tennis, Ludo, carom, like that. So far, we can manage this type of events in any of the city center or other community center. one of the games, which is called badminton. It is like a birdie we use, and we use a racket to hit the ball, very similar to pickleball, okay? And they use the similar size court as well. So from our club and many other people of Moreno Valley, that what we face, the problem is that we don't have any badminton arena in Moreno Valley. So we have to go to other cities, like city of Pomona, they have a badminton arena. City of Loma Linda, they have a badminton arena or court. And our modern age city, Moreno Valley, we don't have it. We go somewhere else. So we're asking everyone to say, hey, cheer up and let's build a badminton court, in city of Moreno Valley. So where we all can come and play, and maybe have a sports center where we can set up some of the table tennis game or board games, something like that as well. And I will leave some paperwork with the city officials so you guys can review it as well. And beside that, have a great day, guys. Thank you so much.
The next three speakers are Brandon Carton, Sam Martinez, and Shahim Ahmed.
I'll wait for that. Go ahead. A couple of you probably could imagine while I'm here, because I hope you've been reading your email in the last week. This regards the very unprofessional, inappropriate exchange I had with the City Public Parks Director last week regarding just a question about a utility box, because now we are receiving art applications in the city. In this exchange, it got quite personal on his behalf, calling me a miserable person, someone that might one day be able to live on their own and pay taxes. What other comments did I get? He respects everyone else except me because I'm critical of the staff, the Arts Commission, and everything else. That's our right as citizens, and my advice to anyone who's thinking like that, don't work for the public. Don't work for the government, especially with the salary that they make. This is all public record, this conversation. I've already forwarded it to this council. I've talked to the assistant city manager about this type of behavior. This is just absolutely unacceptable, and that is not appropriate type of rhetoric that should be coming out of a publicly funded city staff account, no matter how critical you are, no matter how disagreeing you are with any member of the dais or the staff. I showed this conversation to a number of artists. Between myself and other people, we were looking at bringing about $50,000 worth of mural work to the community. They were absolutely disgusted. I would be recruiting types of people like that for months, and they have work all over Southern California, even in different countries. They're looking at Moreno Valley and going, why in the world would we work and invest in a community like that? What if I have to make changes to my application or my business has to come here and they have to deal with that type of unprofessional behavior? That is absolutely out of line. I'm a former educator in the community. I've just disrespected my students. I get that public service can be difficult, but that's absolutely not an appropriate way to respond. That is not something I would be allowed to do. So it really reiterates some of the points I've been making to the full council through email. You guys need a full arts manager, cultural manager position, in my opinion, like the City of Ontario, Riverside, and Indio have, because I don't feel the staff have been given the resources to handle a program of this scale and magnitude. It is just absolutely showing that some of that behavior is allowed and acceptable here. I really hope that does not happen. Anyone is a volunteer, a staff member here, or any artist that's coming forward, because you know what? They're going to look at this city and they're going to lose opportunities going forward. And when you offend me, you're offending a lot of the populations in the art that I'm depicting. Local history. A lot of my content, if you look at my applications, is military history, especially here at March Field. So when you disrespect me, you're disrespecting the artists and the people that want to bring contributions to this community. And I really hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. And I really hope this issue is actually addressed for real. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Sam Martinez, Shahim Ahmed, and Lindsay Robinson.
Good evening, City Council and Mayor. And I still been doing investigation at Morrison Park, and I'm finding a lot of stories about the bathrooms and the whole park. What I found out currently, there's over we have a special season going on right now in Little League, and there's over 850 kids playing right now. So the bathrooms they're a dump, complete dump. And board members I talked to last Wednesday, they said this has been going on for over 15 years in the city of Moreno Valley. So I haven't called the Parks and Direct individual yet. I'm going to do a full investigation on this. Then I'll talk with him. And then after that, then I will go to the state of California and the EEOC and Americans with Disability to get this corrected. Because with me, it's not going to go on for 15 years. I can tell you I'm a retired union boss of the ironworkers. If I have to do a public informational picket line around here, I'll do it. I got no problem with that. You know, I'll bring the carpenters down, the laborers, whatever I got to do. But this is going to stop. But that's all I got to say, and I'll be back with more investigation when I finish. Then I'll call the individual from Parks and Recs and try to resolve it. I'll try my best so we can resolve this. I hate to take it to that other level. So that's it. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, sir. And if you could please leave your contact information to make sure that we're able to follow up with you as well.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next three speakers are Shahim Ahmed, Lindsay Robinson, and David Zeitz.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Councilwoman, men, and everyone else. My name is Shamim Ahmed. I'm actually here from the Moreno Valley Sports Club. We do play every maybe twice a week. We do have to drive to Loma Linda. They actually have a very nice court. What they did is a basketball court. They turn into a badminton court. So when people play badminton court, the badminton is a badminton court. Then they take away the nets and it becomes a basketball court. So if they can do it, I'm sure in our city. I heard last mayor was saying we're third richest city in the nation. So I'm sure we can probably manage this. I can provide the pictures and how they built it. I can maybe bring some videos and how they build it in the basketball court, so you guys have an idea. So if you, I know we have a basketball court in here. So if we can just make maybe two in a couple of court there. We have at least 15 to 20 players. We go every twice a week to Loma Linda, and actually we have to pay there. They charge you $7. Per player, but here I'm hoping it's going to be free. And I think from our Moreno Valley Sports Club, we do every year we do 2-3 events. Our last event, our honorable mayor was there, and he saw how many people came. So we have a big community, big Bangladeshi community. So I'm requesting for mayor and everyone else to give us a badminton court. It's good for mental health, good for physical health, and it's a place where kids can go and play. We are Asian people. We are not that tall, so we don't play basketball that much. And you can looking at us. We are not that strong, so tennis is very not that really good. I mean, it's good for us, but we really can play. I tried, and it's very hard. So badminton, you hit the small ball is very easy. It doesn't take that a lot of strength. So please, I beg you guys, if you can do that, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next three speakers are Lindsay Robinson, David Zeitz, and Louis Aguayo.
Good evening, council, staff, and residents. We've heard for many months since last year all these attacks on Councilman Marquez for missing meetings, including meetings that weren't even held. I've got documents here that have bothered me about the procedure for contacting the Attorney General. There's a document dated October 5th of last year, certified by the clerk. There's a document signed by Mr. Quintanilla and also someone from his staff on October 12th of last year. Shortly after October 12th, Councilman Marquez was notified that the council directed him to file with the Attorney General. I thought, I haven't seen a meeting like that. And of course, anything Mr. Quintanilla does costs the taxpayers money. So I looked through all the old agendas prior to October 12th, and there was nothing. I made a public request. It took a while to get my information. There was no meeting. There was no vote. There's no transcript. There was no open meeting where the council directed Mr. Quintanilla to file with the Attorney General. No, our municipal codes clearly states no individual councilman can direct staff on something like that. Anything requiring money requires a council vote. Who directed him to do it? I don't think he would do it on his own. Most likely it was former Mayor Extian Gutierrez, because I don't think Ed would have done it, and Miss Baca probably not either at that point. Shalinda, you're in the clear because you hadn't been elected yet. So now depositions are being taken against staff and everybody. Suddenly, Mr. Gutierrez is hiding. He hired a Bay Area attorney and got a 3-page letter that he doesn't want to be deposed. He's got unique information that needs to be disclosed on how this whole thing happened. I think the whole procedure was wrong. You can't miss meetings that weren't held, and there's just a big vendetta. Mr. Gutierrez violated a lot of other municipal codes, many of which I read here one council meeting. He's being named in a lawsuit regarding Tom DeSantis payout. There was a payout to the clerk that was illegally signed by Mr. Quintanilla. The attorney has no right to sign those documents. So what else is there that happened? Oh, and the cover up with human resources. Many staff members filed complaints against Pat Jacques Naras, but Mr. Gutierrez had them hidden because when Ed went to find them, he said there were none. Fortunately, copies had been shared with the public. So we need a big investigation into almost everything Mr. Gutierrez did, and this filing with the Attorney General was done improperly and illegally. And Tuesday night is Riverside Concert Band, so I have to head out, but I made a decision to be here. And our Wind Symphony concert was awesome. It was almost a full house. You missed a great concert. Thank you.
The next two speakers are David Sides and Louis Aguayo. And then 7 individuals requested that their names be read into the record, but that they support Mr. Sides and Mr. Aguayo. The first one's Lana Smith, Griselda Aguayo, Sylvia Cortez, Carlene Jones, Miguel Sanchez, Leroy Thompson Jr., and Daryl Terrell.
No, Daryl Terrell is not part of ours.
He's not one of them? Okay, I'll remove that.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to state that I am not here as a planning commissioner or any city official of any way. I'm here as a property owner. First and second of all, I'd like to also state that Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Delgado knew nothing of what we're doing tonight. He was not told of what was happening because of how quickly it happened, and I apologize for that to him at this point. This is not an ambush. First of all, a street behind my property and the street that all these people live on has turned into Party Central. It has been for quite a few years. The police department has come up a few times and shut it down. Recently, I have found out that the cul-de-sac at the end of that street is not city property, where I was told before it was, and that a gate could not be put up to block the cul-de-sac. I understand fire department needs access. We can put a Knox box on it so they can get to the hydrant at the end of the street. But I'm asking the city at this point if they could assist us in getting a gate put up there. The original barricade at the end of that street was taken down by the property owner when he added the cul-de-sac, which is a private road. We're asking for something to be put back up there. If you do a aerial view of that cul-de-sac, you will see the tire marks, the trash. It's turned into a nasty area. I have since fenced off the back half of my property, and it has kept most people from coming onto it. I'm still cleaning up glass, trash in the boulders that are on the hills behind my house. Probably will never get it all cleaned out, but it's there. The next gentleman's going to speak. Will tell you about his adventures with the people. Also, across the street from these people, there is a large lot which has been brought before Planning Commission and be zoning changed, which has nothing to do with this. It needs to be fenced off. The people come over, they drive on the property, they drive up on the knoll that's in the center of the property, bonfires, they have a party out there, the trash is all left, and then they leave it. Unfortunately, and I'm not blaming the police department, we call, but we're low priority. We're not a violent crime. We're not, and I understand that. The police is understaffed. But I'm asking for maybe a few more patrols through there and cite these people. Every time they go up there, they slap their hands and turn them loose. Social media will get out there. If you start towing cars, citing, do everything within legal limits, it will get out there that this is not a place to hang out, and your car will be towed, you'll be arrested, or it'll cost you a bunch of money in fines. Thank you for your time. And the road is Mountain Ranch Road. Sorry, I forgot that.
The next three speakers are Luis Aguayo, Daryl Terrell, and Anthony Padilla.
Good evening. My name is Luis Aguayo. Same thing, property problems. I live right there in Moreno Valley on Mountain Ranch. And it's kind of sad. I've been here 20 years. And for the last 4 years, they've been turning this area in trash. We is planning either moving out or doing something. And thank you for your help, because every time I call, my name is on there. And it's not only if I go into bed like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, these guys start like traffic from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning. And they think they the owners because they driving 70 miles an hour nighttime and daytime. And it's kind of sad because we try to, it's a decent area and talk to the neighbors, but it's like, hey, nobody listen to us. So I know it's you guys have been busy. I appreciate your help. And that's all I come for. You know, just help us to do something. And thank you for your time.
The next three speakers are Daryl Terrell, Anthony Padilla, and Fred Buñuelos.
Hello, my name is Daryl Terrell. I'm alive, but on a serious note, I'm here not speaking as a planning commissioner, but myself. You know, working at Lowe's and Stater Brothers as I do, I can tell you firsthand the fact that retail theft is not a victimless crime, especially in the case where Moreno Valleyans, including my own co-workers, who get attacked or fear, and just because they're doing their jobs or they running errands, you shouldn't feel like it's unsafe to go shopping. And you should not feel like it's unsafe to open up a business in our community. You know, tonight I would like to present maybe 1 or 2 ideas, because I don't have enough time, at addressing organized retail theft. And I would like, for the chief, he should, and I say this, we should fund in the next budget more flock safety automatic license plate reading cameras, along with other technology they offer. The technology has become a crucial component to rapid criminal solvability rates. Over the last 10 years, the NVPD has outstanding success resolving hundreds of crimes using our citywide camera systems. And I believe those flock systems will aid him and help solve crimes. Because I know they applied for a grant which they didn't have a chance to receive. And I believe we should, at the next budget, fund some of those cameras for them. Also, I think we need to have, too, is a organized retail theft suppression team. That's another idea. Third, I think we should have is a organized retail theft task force. All of these together, I believe the people in this community had enough of people walking out of stores. I know that's state law. There's nothing we could really do about it. But we could do something about putting more officers on the street, making sure that we arrest these folks, which they do, take them to jail. Because you cannot have a thriving city if you live in fear. And as I said before, working at Stater Brothers, I seen it firsthand, my managers getting sucker punched. They shouldn't happen, or terrorized. We should have more support for our police department and the sheriff, and he needs the cameras. We need to do everything we can to have a organized retail suppression team in that task force. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Anthony Padilla, Fred Buñuelos, and Luis Palomares.
Hello. I've been a resident of Moreno Valley for a little over a year now, and one thing I've been passionate about is alternative transportation, and specifically buses, bikes, streetcars, pretty much everything except the car. And let me pull up my phone real quick. Okay. So for a while now, I've been wanting to take the bus around Moreno, but one thing I've noticed are just the wait times usually are quite long, and specifically the arrival times for my destination. And oftentimes it's faster to take a car, like less than half the time than if I were to take the bus. And one thing I would like to see implemented would be bus lanes. In particular, I've seen some installed in other cities, and like in Los Angeles recently in the Brea area. And they've seem to be working for the citizens so far. And let me see. I would love for you to consider installing bus lanes in Moreno Valley if you can within the next meeting on transportation, if it's within the budget. And I believe that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next three speakers are Fred Buñuelos, Luis Palomares, and Bob Palomares.
Hello, everyone. I went on a ride-along this weekend with our sheriff's department, and I was lucky enough to go with two different deputies. And the first one was Deputy Zepeda. I nicknamed him Big Boy because he is. And then the other deputy that I rode along with was Deputy Ronceville, and I nicknamed her Student of the Month. Both were very informative. I had a great time with them. They were very eager to show me what they do, and they allowed me to ask questions. Recently, the Moreno Valley Chamber of Commerce gave out an award to Deputy Ronceville, and when I saw it, I couldn't believe my eyes because she's a little thing. I'm like, man, you're hiring kids, you know, and I made a comment because she's holding her Deputy of the Month sign, and it looked like a Student of the Month type of deal. But, you know, I asked them questions, and, you know, if they couldn't do the job, whether it's a big boy or her being small, the department gives them the tools to be able to be equal with everybody, and they did a great job with hiring these two. I had a great time with them. A little bit with Lindsay. That girl can multitask, man. I'm telling you, she was just putting in the addresses of where we're going. She was putting stuff in the laptop. Her training officer taught her to look up the area before we got there to make sure that she knew how we could be safe going into approaching certain areas. And I appreciate that because I'm riding with her, and not only does she have to protect herself, she was protecting me as well. It was a great ride along. Yeah, I just lost my train of thought, guys. Oh, public, if you're interested, you need to go. You need to see what these deputies do. You know, with my little thing, I have my issues with Lakeside Plaza. But you'll come to see why it takes the deputies a little time to get to those non-priority calls because they got more important things that they're doing. And yeah, there was a couple times where we kind of went fast, and it was fun. The last thing I want to say is Mike Vasquez. I ran into him. He was a corporal, but now he's a sergeant. And one of the things I hear is he is a good. He gives good. What do they call it? Interpreters, not interpreters. He can do people's voices. So there's one voice that I want. There we go. Yes. If you run into him, let him know that I'm still waiting to hear his impersonation of a certain person, and I'm looking forward to it. And then thank you guys. Be safe out there.
The next three speakers are Luis Palomares, Bob Palomares, and James Baker II.
Luis Palomares, community activist. Wow, I looked at the council meeting today, and our mayor right here, Kid Cabrera, made a statement saying, Wow, because it was about the library. Wow, maybe we could get the developers to help us. That's a joke. The developers, you hypocrite, you fake, phony, and a fraud. The developers, when you send Hillwood packing with their $30 million and the building that we're going to put, one building on the East End, that's a joke. The developers, maybe they could name a wing, off a building they could, support. Wow, because other cities do it. Well, other cities ain't as stupid as, don't have a mayor like you sending them packing. $30 million. We could have had, I'll say it again, we could have had the baseball diamond, the soccer fields, the youth center. We wouldn't even have to pay $1 to maintain it. Tax dollars for the community, jobs, revenue. We could have had, even what these people are talking about today. Maybe we could have put some money towards what they want here. Maybe you went, they said they seen you somewhere at one of your campaign, on the campaign trail again. So, or an event, well, you're lobbying them, like you lobbied the pool people, like you lobbied the art people. Come, talk about it. Let's see what we can do. We don't even got a library here. But you want the developers to help out? Are you serious? You're on a free ride on the taxpayer. The taxpayer. Shame on you, Ulysses. And your pal Marcus here last time talking in his closing comments, about the trash, and we had to get the trash and all the tax. Well, wasn't he the trash guy? Wasn't he the one that ran his campaign on the trash? He ain't talking about all the money he's cost us on lawsuits. Lawsuits. And you too, Ulysses. You've been censored twice. And the other thing with Pat, the last city clerk, that was something too. Harassing her? Come on. Tax dollars? The violation of the Brown Act? Let's save some money? Come on. How much money have you, Ulysses Cabrera, our mayor, and Marcus cost us on lawsuits and taxes? And then Lindsay comes up here and cleans it all up. Oh, well, this and that. They're attacking Dave. Oh, come on. Poor Dave. That's her right-hand man. That's the one that said, okay, come. We'll keep on giving you money, your $5,000 for what she does 4 times a year, 2 times, maybe 3, but 4 times a year. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, come on. Get with it. Get right. You send people packing. You send developers packing, and now you want their help? What a hypocrite. What a hypocrite. What a liar. I can't receive anything you said, and these poor people are coming here asking for something. We blew that one away.
The next 3 speakers are Bob Palomares, James Baker II, and Roy Bleckard.
Good evening, council, staff, chief. Thank you. I was seeing Chief on Facebook about all of the programs that the Riverside Sheriff's Department have. Man, quite a few all over the county anyhow. But that was great. I seen, man, all kinds of stuff. So it's more than just policing. It's community involvement. Anyway, when do we ever get to normalcy, Ms. Bernard? I remember when you came on, you were saying, man, I want to get back to just, doing city business. I think you already kind of got the feel of why we ain't there. But, Moreno Valley Unified School District is in big trouble. They've got lawsuits. There's no statute of limitations, so I'm sure more are going to pop up. But they've got it, man. The former superintendent was a nice guy, but a terrible superintendent. He swept so much under the rug. Now the skeletons are coming out of the closet. Nepotism, favoritism, you name it, he did it. He took there's a video of him flying a plane, and who knows what he's doing. How much money did that cost the district? I said, where in the hell is he going, to Fantasy Island or what? And then, they're in trouble. I hope when we get the new superintendent, he's not contaminated. He's from the outside and can clean up and, get rid of people and put some new responsible people in. And then the 200 pages on that Cal card that the mayor had, wow. I mean, feeding himself or Maley. I mean, you know, we've got the nonprofits here that give to the homeless all day long, every day. I'm wondering if when you had that card that you know, because you profess to be a champion for the homeless, did you feed any homeless with that card? I'd be behind you if you did. But, you know, that's terrible. And then you didn't fight to keep it. You gave it up right away, because then right after you gave it up, Marcus says that, oh, I'm going to apply for one tomorrow. Well, I hope he doesn't use his Murrieta address, because we don't want little Davy slipping and falling again. And then Nancy Robinson's talking about Marcus. Well, he also has a perjury case pending against him. You know, it's just all his own doing. You know, you can't clean it up. Let him either sink or swim. Thank you.
The next three speakers are James C. Baker II, Roy Bleckard, and Pete Bleckard.
Good evening, City Council. That's quite an act to follow there. I'll do the best I can here. Of course, my name is James Baker, and from Parks and Rec Commission, and thank you. It's so good to be here today and see you, address you guys again. Quickly, we're going to just say a few words about the mother language and monument that was talked about earlier today. And this is not quite like a somebody had a pipe dream, just came up with something. This has been on the agenda in quite a while. We talked about this back in 2015. I was the chairman of the commission. The former Commissioner Osmani there brought it to our attention. We voted on it, but it just wasn't quite the right time. Wasn't quite right. I can't get that out. Wasn't quite the right time to bring it up, but it may be a better time now. The history, again, it started with 2015, and if we kind of tabled it for a few minutes there. Last mother monument, the monument was built. There was actually one built in the city of Paris, and with Mayor Vargas over there, and I actually participated out there and went and saw that, how it happened, and how it came out, and it was really fantastic. It's a really, really, really good idea. And it may be Bangladesh spearheaded, but it's for all languages, all people. All people have different languages and come from a different background. So it's for all, it's not just for one, it's for everybody. And it's a nice idea. It's something very nice to have. When they had the memorial in Paris, city of Paris, I've actually got one of the copies here of that, where Mayor Vargas and the rest of the council voted on it and approved it. So it's a good idea, and I want to just urge the staff and council to go and check it out. Give it a little airtime and check it out. See, it might be a very, very good idea. A little shot in the arm for the city there. Again, everyone has a mother language. The Mexican people may have Spanish. The Filipino people may have, Ilocano, I think it is. And the black folks, I think we've got Swahili, which I don't know a word about Swahili, you know. As far as I can get, it was like from an old Tarzan movie, I can say Ungawa, that's about it. But I don't talk Swahili, I speak American here. But again, check it out, and please have it agendized for further consideration. It's a good project, and it's not like a pipe dream, something that pop up out of nowhere. It's really a good project, and I saw the response of the people out there, and people were very, very happy that they were all part of something they can come together and enjoy. Okay, so again, and we'll see you tomorrow at the funeral of Tom Giro. So I'll get that in there too. So again, thanks for listening, and hang in there.
The next three speakers are Roy Bleckard, Pete Bleckard, and Christopher Baca.
I just want to say my mother language is Edgemont, and not many people can say that. Oh, man. 1996, Victoria Baca walked to the district and said, "You got a problem over there at Vista Heights." The district is now staring down at a jury award of $135 million. In 2017, I walked to that district and said, you got a powder keg that's going to blow, especially at either Sunnymead Middle or Landmark. In 2019, Diego Stoltz lost his life. If you don't think this stuff is important, I got another story for you, and it was just the last study session. You want to keep blocking us from doing our right to come up here, and you keep ignoring us when you specifically, and we bring you stuff that is documented, that is fact and proven out to, I bet, a lot more than you guys. And these disasters happen that you hear coming up here, not only here at the county, at the school districts, in the district to the district of criminals. And we are ignored. And you try to block us. Tell me this, and I ask all of you, and I said, contact me. Tell me how we can have 5 regular meetings at Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Tell me how that works. Maybe one or 2 months out of the year when we have 5 Tuesdays. And if you bothered to ask, the reason Valverde moved from 2 to 1 is because he had a conflict with the city of Paris and the district. You don't, and you guys try to blame that? You don't even know what the hell's going on. I think this is 100%, probably 111%, 100% evidence. Sans Miss Baca, you are doing this intentionally so we cannot speak. I brought this 152,000 times with stacks of emails. You stuck that on a study session that I asked you to move, like that mayor did on Valentine's Day when he didn't want his mad wife at him. You moved a study session for your convenience, but you will give us the middle finger every frickin' time up here. That is your record. Deny it. If not, say I'm correct. Or come up with a reason why. I want to see why the report was made like that. I want to see like that because you know what? There's a little thing called SBX. You might want to tune into the county meeting. This is getting deeper.
The next 2 speakers is Pete Vallamaris. I'm sorry. Pete.
I'll just call it Edgemont
Pete Blackard
language.
and Christopher Baca.
Beautiful Edgemont language. Anyway, everybody crying about the library. It's stupid. Council people up for you. Took $25 million was granted to them for a library. And they all had to argue and argue, just like you're doing now, until the time ran out and the grantor wanted it back. And we had to hurry up within a month and say, let's build the Sonny Bono Bridge at Nason Street. We took the library, $25 million, and stuck it over there. And the best comment was from Myron Owens, if you got a book to throw out, drive by the bridge and throw it out, because there's your library. So, tell it all about it. Second thing is, if the mayor can call in and run his meetings and everything on the telephone, why can't us, that sometimes are shut-ins, can't call in? It takes 3 votes. We know 2 of them ain't going to vote with him. He's going to make sure. If you other 3 ain't going to change it, then you're giving everybody else that want to call in the middle finger. So let's get that straight. Now, the third thing I would talk about is over there at the horse park over there. $750,000 was spent because the snake lady said Ross couldn't develop his property, so we bought it for $750,000 out of parks money. Then we went and fixed the water. That cost $100 million, maybe $1 million. We put a marina in and lights and everything else. And I went to the meeting, and all they did, you had a meeting over there. A few things came out, but most of it was crying about they wanted more on their horse park, they wanted the dogs out of there, and everything else. Why are we doing that? But, if they think they're great, they're giving Edgemont, the big park over in Edgemont, hey, we wanted to get their money and put it over there in the horse park because horses are more important than them bums over there in Edgemont. The real Edgemont, not the Edgemont district, the real Edgemont. You didn't grow up there. None of you know where it's at. You don't want to know where it's at because you don't care. I've talked about it and everything else. If any of you would have ever built anything over there in Edgemont like others did, tell me about it, because you better not damn well ask me, because I'll tell you what I did. So I don't want to hear complaints. So the park in Edgemont, they spend $3 on. Every month or two, I'm sure, the Parks Department goes by at the 2 cement monuments down there on Alessandro and 395 to see if there's any graffiti on there. It says, welcome to Moreno, it says Moreno Valley, but I say it's Moron Valley, because the city has, on the south side, all warehouses where we got City Hall. On the left, you got the toilet. You have never done no money over there. All of it's been a junkyard over there, and you don't care, and none of you ever asked me to come and look at it.
The final speaker is Chris Baca.
Good evening, staff, council, and community. I'm here on behalf of myself. My opinions and my comments are my own, and they have nothing to do with any other person I may know or am related to, or whatever the case may be that people may come up with. But anyhow, I wasn't here. I mean, the Mayor Cabrera wasn't here the last time I made my comment regarding some comments that he made, so I just wanted to follow up on that and specifically ask you specifically what the heck is, what are you talking about? And a little background, when my sister Victoria Baca passed away on her funeral, I wouldn't even say Mr. Ulysses Cabrera and this David Marquez threw her things out of her office when they weren't able to remove her things, and they assaulted the city clerk at the time and so forth. Recently, and that was the reason why you were censured, and that's why the mayor was censured and asked to do some stuff because he harassed the staff. He continues bullying and harassing Elena Santa Cruz whenever issues come up, such as your violations of harassing people, of harassing staff, and of harassing council members. Okay, you harass Elena, you accuse her of issues that are your fault. They're your own fault. You did what you did, and you paid the consequences for that. You haven't fully paid for them, but you will. And this last thing that brought this up is you also attacked her, and that's what I want to ask you personally, if you could respond to that, is what exactly did you mean that she took her uncle to New York City? What do you mean by that? Okay, and why when I seen you in New York City, why suddenly did all these people make requests about payments, about so forth and so on? And like I said, do you really think I need the city to pay my airfare? Do you really think Elena or the city clerk would jeopardize their job for freaking airfare? You're just creating chaos. You just want to deflect your stupidity and attack and bully Elena. Okay, and that needs to stop. It really does need to stop. They're your fault, they're your doings. And you start bullying people because you have to suffer the consequences for your stupidity. Okay, you haven't, at first I was like, whatever. 2 years of an idiot sitting there is no big deal. But now I'm seeing how you're affecting the city. It's an embarrassment. It is a total embarrassment.
That concludes public comment, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So with that, we will go ahead and move now to the consent calendar and any public comments on matters that are on the agenda. If you wish to speak on any items that are on the consent calendar, you will have a total of 3 minutes to comment on all items that are on the consent calendar. If you wish to comment on any other items that are on the agenda other than the public hearing items, you will have a total of 3 minutes to comment on each item at the time that item is called up for consideration. But if we have a large number of speakers on a particular item, it may be necessary to reduce the amount of time for each speaker to comment on the item to allow the City Council time to complete its business as described on the agenda. For public hearing items, each speaker will be provided with at least 5 minutes to provide testimony on each public hearing item. We are now going to move to our joint consent calendars, sections A through E on the agenda. All items listed under the consent calendars, sections A, B, C, D, and E, are routine and non-controversial and may be enacted by one motion unless a member of the council or any affiliated agency requests that an item be removed for separate action. The motion to adopt the consent calendars is deemed to be a separate motion by each agency and shall be so recorded by the city clerk. Items withdrawn for discussion will be heard after the public hearing items. Madam Clerk, actually, first for the council, are there any items that you'd like removed for separate action? Okay, seeing none, we will move now to any council questions of staff. If you have any questions, feel free to ask those now. I don't think there are any questions. I'll just double check here before I move on. Okay, so no questions on the consent calendar, which brings us next to the public comments that are on the consent calendar items. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, we have 2 requests to speak. Roy Bleckert, followed by Luis Palomares.
So A5, the Cal League of Cities, as the aforementioned Pete used to say, it's where the politicos go to get their brains sucked out and implanted is, yes, we are going to suppress the people, raise taxes, and make their lives miserable. I've asked, if you would follow my advice and get out of that odious organization, and I'm being very kind, then we wouldn't even have to deal with this on the consent calendar. And more importantly, we the people would not have to endure the absolutely, and you look at everything, practically everything they do, they advocate against the people, against the Constitution, against individual liberty, and against freedom. Please get the hell out of the Cal League of Cities. Why can't we lead on something and show the way? On A13 on the truck parking, you had a study session about that. And yes, we need truck parking. Well, now we come up with a recommendation. Well, now we're not going to do that. We need truck parking in here. You know why? It's a public safety issue. Because if Chief Ken has his officers writing parking tickets of truck drivers because they have no place to park, you know what them cops are not doing? They're not responding to the calls. Tell me I'm wrong, Mr. Ed. The time wasted, and I'm being very kind again, of what you do, why can't you come up with a plan? Why can't we ever come up with a plan? We know what you've done. And who this hurts the most is the independent truckers. They don't have a place to park their truck, and if they park their truck in front of their house, you guys are fining the crap out of them. You tell them they can't park it in front of their house, they can't have it nowhere. We have a chaos, and again, it's a public safety issue. We do not need to hire more police officers to make this area safe. We need to take the police officers we have and use them efficiently. Again, you can comment, ask the chief. Tell me I'm wrong. If I'm not wrong, then why in God's green earth do we sit here and come up with this stuff, and we do these studies and stuff, and we can't even come up with a place to do it after God knows how many freaking decades?
The next 3 speakers are Luis Palomares, followed by Bob Palomares, followed by Christopher Baca.
Oh. Luis Palomares, community activist. Okay, about the traveling. We're paying expenses, traveling expenses. The mayor here went on the 19th, a day before that League of Cities was having their event there. Who paid for that room? Who paid for your trip a day early? And then it's a 3-day trip, so you can go learn what you got to learn about ethics and everything else, but you're too busy campaigning over there. So you were there a day and a half, I believe. A day and a half when you should have been there 3 days. What was this, a vacation on our dime again? Again? Can I see you? Can you look at me? I guess not. Cowardly lying, I guess. Wow. So your vacation on our dime again. What did you get out of it? And then your pal Marcus didn't even show. He's a no-show. Lindsay was over defending and yada, yada. And he was a no-show. We paid for that trip. We paid for that room. He didn't show up. And how many other times has that happened? Where is he tonight? Where is he tonight? At a game somewhere? Come on. So it's out of control here with you, Ulysses Cabrera. You know, a vacation on our dime. On our dime. And then you zoom it in. I mean, was that necessary? Ed could have took care of business. He's a big boy. He can handle it. I think so, but no, you have to be the one. You have to run the show. It has to be you, Mr. Dictator. Now, you affiliate yourself so great. You're always on a campaign trail. Okay, campaign trail. Affiliate yourself so great with the superintendent, Dr. K, that got fired. We've been in the press 3 times in 3 weeks for the Diego 27 million, for the sexual thing that happened with these 2 young men in the 90s. $135 million. That's who you affiliate yourself with. The free ride at the district, all the nonprofits they give to. That's what you do. It's sad. And then we were in there about, 3 times in the press enterprise. 3 times. And these are the people you lie down with. These are the people you're all in bed with. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Is this on an agenda item?
Wait, let me get back to the agenda.
Please keep it to the agenda.
Yeah, let me.
Thank you.
Last time I was here, and we were talking about all the awards they got and all that. Let's keep it to the agenda. It was all great, and you shut me down. But when somebody's saying something great about you, you don't shut yourself down, or your daddy. So there it is. Get right. Do the right thing for the community and the people. Dr. K. You're learning from the best.
The final 2 speakers are Bob Palomares, followed by Christopher Baca.
Good evening again. This is on A5, the council training and travel. Well, I guess training, if you go, you either show or you don't. You know, I hear of some council members going, they don't even go to the training, whether it's ethics or whatever they're having at the time. As far as expenditures, I don't know about that. But when Ms. Robinson, part of this training here, Ms. Robinson failed to mention is that when they've had these training classes, I suppose Marcus has gone. He's been here long enough, 7 years on the council. Didn't he know that if he calls in absent, he has to mention that, hey, we got to take a vote to make it official? So that's what killed him. He never did that. There was never votes taken, so he was absent maybe more than what he was supposed to be. But she comes out with whatever excuse she thought of. I'm sure her and Marcus got together, but the training was there for him, and he never, I've never, as long as I've been here, I never heard anybody vote that, oh, Mr. Marcus is absent, we're going to have to take a vote. So there it is. He shot himself. Then he cries later. It's too late. Thank you.
The final speaker is Christopher Baca.
Do I get 3 minutes on each item? Anyhow, Chris Baca, I'm here on behalf of myself, community servant, and I help my community. I don't sit up there and pretend and get a paycheck and pretend I'm helping my community. No, I go out there and help the homeless. I go out there and clean up, and I'm out there. But anyhow, I don't, I practice, what is that, John 6 something. It's like, I'm not out there like the hypocrites with but anyhow, as far as A5 is concerned, what happened to the ethics training for Ulysses? I don't think it was, maybe he needs to redo it again. Ulysses Cabrera continues harassing staff and harassing his fellow council members. I think that's very unethical. He needs to continue or take the ethics class for how to conduct himself with his fellow electeds and his fellow staff. I think that's imperative. I don't think he knows what he's doing. He keeps putting his foot in his mouth, and he continues creating chaos that end up slapping him back in the face, such as this and the brown cards or whatever they're called. A little history there. It was us that came up with, yeah, go ahead and stick the finger at me. That's fine. He went like that. But anyhow, you disrupted me, so I'm asking for another 50 seconds. Way back in the day, one of the council members we made a FOIA request, and apparently she was buying lipstick at Macy's every time she got a chance, or some makeup and so forth. So that's why the brown card thing came up quite a few years back, and we're revisiting it again, and for precisely that reason. So I don't understand how our mayor would assume that people are lame enough to try to get stuff for free from the city. On the other thing, on A7, I have here from the Secretary of State, and it says service processor, California agent, Christopher Baca. I never lived on Hutley. And so what I'm wondering is, what is this about that these nonprofits that don't qualify for the grants, now you're giving them second chance? I think that's a political move. I'm asking for the people that are here today to vote this down until it's furtherly fixed, in that it's not used as a political tool to help these nonprofits that don't qualify. They don't qualify for a reason. And I'm not going to name names on these nonprofits, but they do not qualify for a reason. So I ask.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Baca. Your time is up. Sir, consider this your first warning. If you continue to speak, I'm going to have to ask the bailiff to remove you into the lobby. Everybody had the equal amount of time. Now it's up to you.
Yeah, you interrupted me.
Okay, this is your second warning now.
You're going back and forth right now? I couldn't finish my sentence.
So,
That's
sir,
ridiculous.
we've given you your 3 minutes. If you continue, I'm going to have to ask the bailiff to remove you to the lobby.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. City Attorney.
Yeah, I think I should announce publicly what the rule is that under SB 1100, if anyone disrupts the meeting, physically disrupts the meeting, meaning that it's going to hinder your ability to conduct business and prevent or prohibit or hinder the ability for other people to participate in the meeting, that person can be removed with the warning provided first.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. And the resident has since moved back to his seat. So with that, Madam Clerk, do we have any further requests to speak?
No, that concludes public comment, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mayor,
So-
excuse me, before you get into deliberation on consent calendar items, as there are only 3 council members in attendance tonight, I'd like to remind you that basically any item that has any funding or appropriations related to it, it must have 3 affirmative votes per Government Code 36936. So that being said, it looks and appears that A7 and A14 have funding appropriations related to the recommendations, and therefore would need 3 affirmative votes to move forward.
Thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate the clarification there. Okay, so with that, now we move to any council deliberation if desired. If not, I will entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendations.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. And that passes with 3 yeses and 2 absences. So that'll conclude the consent calendar portion of the agenda. We don't have any items for public hearings, so we also don't have any items on G. We do have an item on H, which is H1, which is an adoption of County Ordinance number 987 regarding unlawful possession of catalytic converters. Ordinance, don't have the number in front of me, but we have a report from the city manager's office.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council Member. As you recall, there have been a multitude of times that one of our residents have been at the podium and provided us a document, and it might be a resolution or an ordinance. In this particular case, that particular resident was successful in having the catalytic converter ordinance that they provided the city to be adopted by the Riverside County Board of Supervisors. So what this particular action before you tonight is doing is introducing and conducting the first reading of a city ordinance that is amending Title 11 and in essence adopting Riverside County Ordinance 987. If approved tonight, this would actually move forward to a scheduled public hearing on November 21st, 2023. And that scheduled public hearing would conclude second reading and adoption of our city ordinance predicated on the referencing of Riverside County Ordinance 987. I'm available for any conversation or questions you may have.
Thank you, Brian. And we have first up Mayor Pro Tem Delgado.
Are there any costs associated with us adopting this ordinance?
No, because actually what will actually occur is Riverside County Sheriffs will just be able to enforce Riverside County ordinances. There is no enforcement from the city staff, city perspective. It just allows Riverside County to enforce their own laws within our own jurisdiction.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any further questions for staff? And I don't see any at the moment. So we'll go ahead and move now to the public testimony portion. And Madam Clerk, I'll turn back to you. Do we have any requests to speak on this item?
We have two requests, Daryl Terrell, followed by Luis Palomares.
Start my time of doing, yeah. Oh, you can't start it? Okay. Good evening. My name is Daryl Terrell. I'm not here speaking as a planning commissioner, but myself. First, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Mayor, the City Council, Mayor Pro Tem Ed Delgado, Council Member Bernard, City Manager Mike Lee, and Assistant City Manager Bryant Mohan for bringing this catalytic converter theft ordinance forward. You know, thieves are becoming more brazen. They have no boundaries and no consciences. They operate in every neighborhood throughout our city and beyond and beyond. The theft results in quick profits for criminals, but mostly repairs for our residents, with replacement costs reaching thousands of dollars per converter. To date, our city, state, or federal legislation is applicable to our city to define and punish these thieves absent of an identifiable victim, which is rare. So as a result, the catalytic converter theft continues to rise. You know, the governor signed into law Senate Bill 1087 and AB 1740 addressing the purchase of catalytic converters. However, there's still no legislation to address from the state an unlawful possession of a catalytic converter without an identified victim. And due to that matter in which these types of thefts occur and the lack of identifying markers on the catalytic converters or their precious metals, linking The stolen catalytic converter to a victim is nearly, as I said before, impossible unless the suspect is caught in the act. Moreno Valley PD has implemented public education efforts to address these steps, but due to the lack of ordinance defining and prosecuting illegal possession of a catalytic converters, many of these catalytic converters in our city have gone unsolved. And we cannot, as a city, allow these thieves to run havoc and cost our hardworking people their hard-earned money to replace these things. So when I came before you guys several times, I'm in the county about this ordinance, because I think it's important that we do something. Now we don't Sacramento to do what they got to do, because they're doing enough damage, in my personal opinion, down here at the local level that impacts all of us when it comes to public safety. And I thank you guys again for leading the charge and allowing this to become reality, and hope we can save some people's sleep when they go out there to their car. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next two speakers are Luis Palomares, followed by Roy Blackard.
Wow. Luis Palomares, community activist. Daryl Terrell brought this to the attention a long time ago. We've been at all the meetings, we've heard it all, and it's great that we've gotten this far. But it has to go farther. This ain't good enough. It has got to go farther. So hopefully that can happen sooner than later. As far as our cameras in the city, we got to get them up and running, right? Because a lot of them ain't working, I believe. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong, but, and then maybe we can catch some of these people. But yeah, it has to happen. It has to go further than it's gone. I know somebody told me about a documentary about a lost paradise, I believe it's called. And you know, the thief could get away with murder now. Get away with murder. It's so sad. It's running rampant. You know, I was at one store not that long ago. I think I said it here. You know, there was about 5 people in there. Daylight, I had my grandson with me. I said, let's wait, ready to hit the ground, because, you know, they were thieving all up down the aisle. They just walked right out the door. The police couldn't get there in time. They go in like a team and they get out so quick. And who's going to chase them down? And, you know, I wouldn't risk my life. That's for darn sure. So anyway, things got to change with the laws in our community and all the way from the state level down. It's sad what people are getting away with. You know, make the crime fit the time. They're just letting them, no bail no more. Wow. No bail no more. That scares me. That scares me. We're out of control, and we're totally out of control. On another note, Tom's service is tomorrow at the Elks, but some people are asking me the 20th. No, it was changed, so it's from 5 to 8 at the Elks. Thank you. And pray for Israel and both sides. Thank you.
The final speaker is Roy Blackard.
Of course, since, as the staff report said, the resident could not be named because he not only lives in Edgemont, he works in Edgemont. I mean, I guess if you're from Edgemont or there, you're part of the unclean that cannot be mentioned. If I was writing the press release, I would be writing it, or the staff report, I would be writing it as saying, our esteemed planning commissioner, Daryl Terrell, got a catalytic converter ordinance passed through the County Board of Supervisors, so maybe, possibly, you won't go out there to go to work at 4:30 in the morning and find out your car sounds like a AA fuel dragster. On top of that, there's got to, as Louise said, and she rightly brought it out, there's got to be punishment behind this. I don't know how many times I've been down to the Sheriff's Department here with the public safety, the travesty you did passing the budget and they did. You should be down there. You should be down there next Tuesday at 9:30 at the county. You should be demanding that the Board of Supervisors and Sheriff Chad open those 1,200 beds that we spent $300 million in Indio. They're sitting empty. That is a freaking travesty. So they arrest these guys. Even if Mike Hestron prosecutes them and they get convicted, what are we going to do with them? We're going to turn them loose. and that is yours. That is on your watch. That is just the same thing when I'm talking about the budgets that you passed that made this area, Moreno Valley, less safe. The budgets the county passed that made Riverside County less safe. Your buddy Gavin Newsom, Ulysses Cabrera, who passed the budgets that made the state of California less safe. Right. Dispute it. Man up, and let's have a discussion in the public about this. Tacit agreement, just like what went before. Dickie Stew, who sat up on that dais for 24 years, longest sitting member, used to say it all the time. Definition. If you hear it and you don't respond or you don't correct it, you are agreeing with what was said. So like with the truck parking and the reports and all this other stuff, you're not man enough to come up and defend it. You're agreeing with the stuff we're saying. Look at the Supreme Court. You've got all kinds of ability to get your voice out. Why don't you exercise it?
Thank you. And I believe that concludes the public comment on this item.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So with that, we will now move into council deliberation if desired. Please hit your speaker button if you would like to deliberate on this item. If not, we can go ahead and entertain a motion by the council to approve staff's recommendations numbers 1 and 2. And I do see a request here from Councilmember Bernard.
I will say his name. Darrell Terrell did bring this ordinance up to us and the information to us. So I do like to thank Darrell. He always has very good information. He's always coming prepared to explain things and to give us ideas and be innovative. And that's what we want from our residents. And that's what we mean when we say get more involved. So I appreciate Darrell for this. I remember when he brought it up a few months ago in an extremely thick packet to match. And I appreciate all the time and effort that he consistently puts in and comes up to this city council to bring new and fresh ideas and always informative. He's somebody that is not critical or can be critical of us, but he also comes with a plan and a solution. So I appreciate that for him.
Thank you, Councilmember. And I'll reiterate what she said. And I know staff keeps names confidential because it's just something that by law we have to do. But as has been said already, Mr. Darrell Terrell is actually the genius behind this particular ordinance and that language. And like Councilmember Bernard said, he's very active. You know, there's a reason why he's on the Planning Commission, and he's one of the most eloquent speakers that I've met, and he's just really passionate about everything that he does. So shout out to Darrell Terrell for bringing this, making it happen, and appreciate all the work you're doing.
I agree. Great job, Darrell.
Excellent. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve staff's recommendations numbers 1 and 2.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. If we could please vote. And that passes with 3 yeses and 2 absences. Okay. And that brings us now to item I, which is reports, the city council reports. And we have a couple. We'll start first with the March Joint Powers Commission from Mayor Pro Tem Delgado.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm reporting on a meeting that we had at the March Joint Powers Authority on October 11, 2023. Tonight I'm providing an update from the March Joint Powers Commission meeting that we held. We received an update on the 452nd Civil Engineering Squadron at the March Air Reserve Base. We also heard an update from Target representatives regarding their newest distribution facility along the I-215 at Van Buren. And that concludes my update on the March Joint Powers Commission meeting held on October 11th.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And the second report that we have is for the Riverside County Transportation Commission. I'll be providing a quick update on that. So the meeting was held on October 11th. And a couple of updates from that meeting include that the commission heard a presentation regarding the draft 2024 traffic relief plan and directed staff to return to the commission in early 2024 with the results of the public outreach and engagement efforts and a finalized 2024 traffic relief plan. That concludes my report on the last RCTC meeting. So next up, we have I2, which is the Employee Association's report, and we do not have one this evening. Next on the agenda is item I3, which is the famous city manager's report.
All right, thank you, Mayor Pro Temp, and Councilman Bernard. So just 3 items tonight. First, you already acknowledged this, but I do want to congratulate and welcome our HR director, Dr. Robert Cardenas. He has over 29 years of experience in various cities. He has experience in municipal governance, in human resource risk management, and a little bit of finance. And we're very, very lucky to have him. His last gig is actually the city of Menifee, so I do know there's a city manager there who is not too happy with me right now, and I'm probably not going to get a Christmas card from him. But it is a win for our city, so looking forward to some great stuff from Dr. Robert Cardenas. Second item is that, when it rains, it pours. So last council meeting, I mentioned we won 2 pretty large awards, and then shortly we actually received 2 more awards. So the first one I want to announce is this is actually from the Municipal Information System Association of California, and this is awarded to our technology services for really the excellence in information technology practice. And this is the 21st consecutive win for our IT team. And as there was a lot of dialogue today about information and innovation, a lot of the technology, the cameras, and all the things that are happening, it is the IT team that's putting all this stuff together, working with all the different departments, and putting these really innovative things to really help enhance the city together. So congratulations to the city, congratulations to our IT team for this win. And finally, another win for our very, very fantastic team of the media team. Once again, this is for the National Association of Telecommunication Officers and Advisors, NATEO, and Tim Carroll was there. We actually won 9. This is a national award, 9 awards in 9 different categories, and we run the media team, a fantastic media team with all the videos that you see, all the graphics that you see, even the PIO, 5 members running a very, very busy city, 5 members running the media team, and they brought 9 awards home, a national award. And I don't think they left any awards for any other jurisdiction. So once again, congratulations to our city, to our fantastic media team, and looking forward to more awards in the future. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mike. And congrats to our amazing staff as always. I know I joke around that we need more shelves, but we really do. We need more places to put these awards. So hats off to you guys for the amazing work. So next up on your agenda is the council closing comments, and we will go to Councilmember Bernard.
Okay, so I will say that since our last meeting, I did attend State of the Black IE thrown by Assembly Member Corey Jackson's office. It was a nice conversation. It was held here in our city rec center, and it was a nice conversation regarding the African American community and some of the things that we have going on in our community, such as infant mortality rates, and other health concerns that we have, as well as some economical issues. And it wasn't just Riverside County, but it was also San Bernardino County. So I would like to thank his office for having that and selecting the city of Moreno Valley as that central focal point for that. Some of the speakers came out and they spoke about, let me say, Mother Language Day, which will be February 21st of 2024. I do think that, I know they were asking for a center to celebrate. I would like us as a city, though, to possibly look at having an event, something where we can invite the different members of the community to come out, the weather should be good. If not, maybe the Civic Center area would be a good spot, and have booths and have people come out and learn about the different things that we have in this community, and just make it more of like a festival of celebration within the community. I think between, and the city staff would probably agree, I think between now and February to get a center or statue up in 2024 would be a bit difficult. So we should probably take baby steps to get there. I also want to look at my time. I also want to, they mentioned badminton courts. Maybe there's some room for us somewhere within some of the basketball courts that we have set up, where maybe we can just add the addition or the accessibility of it. That might make it so that we can convert some of those things instead of having to build right away. I know we're in the middle of a master plan, brand new courts to accommodate that. Okay, and then I would like to address, because this is still a hot topic, the issue about our meeting dates. So I have verified the City of Paris holds their city council meetings on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month, and the last Tuesday of the month if needed for a study session. So I have confirmed that. So the City of Paris for Valverde, if they move their meetings back to Wednesday, actually takes them out of having an issue with us over here and having a meeting conflict. So the City of Paris, they've covered their basis, and that's when they hold theirs. So again, the major conflict is going to be Valverde. It probably wasn't a conflict for us previously, but the last year or so since I've been up here, we have focused heavily on doing study sessions because that was something the community said they wanted. The community said they wanted to learn about the different departments, where things were going. They wanted certain things addressed. And so in order for us to do that, we have study sessions, and the study sessions are the second Tuesday. Wasn't previously an issue because we weren't having study sessions. So I just want to make sure that I get that on the record and that we point that out. And with that, our sheriff's department is having a trunk or treat on October 30th, so please be there. I will be there with my munchkins. Happy Halloween. Be safe. There are plenty of trunk or treats. The Elks Club is having one on the 28th, so there are plenty of trunk or treats out there for you guys to go enjoy if you don't feel like walking around on October 31st with your family. And it's officially happy holiday season, and we're kicking off the holidays. So thank you. And because we haven't mentioned it yet, please register for the color run. The color run is November 18th. So please register for the color run. Come out. It's just going to be right here. We're going to shut off the streets around City Hall. And please come out. Have a good time. You don't have to actually run. I've been informed. You can speed walk, or just stand there and get pelted with color. It's up to you. And have a good night.
Thank you, Councilmember. Next up, closing comments from Mayor Pro Tem Delgado.
Thank you. I'll make mine very quick. I attended the Station Number 2 open house with the fire folks. That was pretty amazing. A lot of kids that were there. They actually showed the operation of the ladder truck and the engine and the CERT vehicle. So that was very cool to see. I also attended the 20th anniversary at the Moreno Valley Equestrian Center on Saturday, and they had a great turnout, great show with some really cool horses that I've never seen before. So they recruited some folks from other cities to come in and show off their horses. So it was really cool. Can we look, and I don't know if I need to do a motion, can we look at other areas besides the Prologis lane for other truck areas? Can we look at other areas? We don't have to do too much, just see if there's another area, because the Prologis did not work out.
Yes, I just think we need a second to look at that.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Thank you. And I also, I would love to publicly thank our staff for what you guys do, and know that you guys put up with a lot, and the last couple of weeks was a very contentious week for some of you guys on staff. Just know, and I'm going to publicly say it, we have your backs. We support you 100% on what you do and why you do it. You guys do an amazing professional job, and speaking hopefully for the rest of the my colleagues, but you guys do an amazing job, and we support you 100%. Tomorrow is Tom Jarrell's celebration of life, as it's been said a couple times at the Elks Lodge, 2697 in Canyon Springs Center there, 5 to 8. A few of us will be speaking, so if you guys want to show up and honor Tom and break bread with some of us, come on up. And then Halloween's coming up. You guys, if you guys have older kids coming to your doors, don't be discouraged about older kids coming to your doors. Even if they're not in costume, give them candy. Who cares? They're not out vandalizing. They're not out starting trouble. Give them candy and send them on their way. But be safe out there. Halloween is literally around the corner, and you're going to see a lot of people walk in the streets. So just be safe and be kind to one another until we meet next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And for my closing comments, just a couple of items here. First, want to thank, they're not here anymore, but all the folks from that came to speak about International Mother Language Day from the Bangladeshi community. Actually, they reached out, and you also heard one of the speakers mention, actually Al Masuk, that they started the Moreno Valley Sports Club back in 2018, which I only found out about earlier this year when they invited me out to their event, which was extremely well attended over at Lake Paris. And I was introduced to a lot of new games from the Bangladeshi community, and definitely want to make sure that we're doing what we can, like Councilmember Bernard mentioned about seeing what we could do to maybe use our existing facilities. I know one of the speakers mentioned that in Loma Linda, they use an existing basketball court that they convert temporarily for badminton. So I think that's something that hopefully we can do. I know that'll take some coordination, but hopefully we can make that happen to bring in that sport to Moreno Valley as well. And then I know they mentioned the memorial that they have in the city of Paris. I believe that was done through a public-private partnership where a developer actually funded that memorial. But as they said, they are looking for hopefully sometime in the future some kind of community center that would allow for a facility not just for International Mother Language Day, but for all types of other events. And I know that's something that has been discussed with at the staff level and here at the council level as well. So I think that's definitely, like Councilmember Bernard said, more of a longer term project, but that is something that definitely will be kept in mind as we move forward and new projects come to the city. And then also, just last thing on that topic, I agree that we should have some kind of multicultural event sometime next year. I don't know if between now and February, it may be too short notice, but sometime next year that we can hopefully have some kind of multicultural event where we bring in all the diverse communities from Moreno Valley and maybe Paris, Riverside, to have an event and let them really showcase and immerse themselves in their culture, right? So that we can shine a spotlight on that. So definitely agree with all of that as well. I feel like I just need to briefly talk about this again, just because Speaker Mr. Baca actually came to the council meeting again, and I thought we would be past this already, but I just want to mention that actually someone sent me a picture from your social media that you posted at the NALEO conference at that reception that you posted on your own social media page. And I just want to remind folks that the only reason, I'm not saying that the city paid for your ticket or your hotel, I'm not saying that at all, but it was definitely inappropriate for you to be there, because the only reason you were there was because the city paid for Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz and you were able to attend the event. So I just want to clarify that, because a lot has been said, and I hope we could leave this in the past. Also want to mention that I was able to attend the strike from members of SEIU UHW and SEIU 121RN here at Kaiser Hospital in the city of Moreno Valley on Iris. And, they're striking, a historic strike, to fight for better wages, increased staffing levels, safe staffing levels inside of their facilities. And as most of us, or some of us may be aware, they did reach a tentative agreement, and so it looks like things are moving in the right direction. And I just want to tip my hat off to all the members of SEIU for standing up and speaking up for what they deserve in their occupation. Also was able to attend the State of the Black IE along with Councilmember Bernard here at our Moreno Valley Conference and Recreation Center. That was hosted and led by our Assembly member, Dr. Corey Jackson. And we had, Ms. Palomares, if you could please, I've already had to warn you before in the meeting, if you do it again, I'm gonna have to ask the bailiff to remove you from the council chamber. If you could please be respectful. So if I have to mention it one more time, I'm gonna have to ask the bailiff to remove you from the council chamber. Let's be respectful. Okay, we'll give you just a minute to, please, go right ahead. Go right ahead. We'll give you just a second. Thank you. Mr. Baca, let's be respectful. Everybody had their time to speak. So if you continue, I'm gonna have to ask the bailiff to, Mr. Baca, you had your chance to speak. Now is my turn to speak. Okay. This is now your second warning. If you continue, okay. Mr. Bailiff, I apologize for asking you to do this, but if you could please ask Mr. Baca to wait in the lobby and come back if he's able to. So the State of the Black IE, where I left off, we had elected officials from other cities actually attend the event as well. For example, the mayor of Rialto, a couple council members from San Bernardino, and we also had the state superintendent of schools in attendance here at the event. So I just want to thank Corey Jackson for making that event possible. Also got invited to Career Day at Bethune Elementary, so I appreciate the faculty and staff there that gave me the opportunity to attend and just spend some time with the children there. Always a really nice time to just visit the schools and be able to spend some time with the kids there. Also was able to attend the Legislative Latino Caucus annual gala in Los Angeles. I want to express my gratitude to the chair of the Legislative Latino Caucus, Sabrina Cervantes, who's the assembly member over in Riverside. I want to thank her for putting that event together. It was really, really powerful. As a Latino myself, it was especially powerful just to be able to be there. We had actually remarks from the, I want to make sure I get his title correct, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Xavier Becerra. He actually was there in attendance and gave some really powerful remarks. So I just want to commend the Latino Caucus for the work that they're doing in the legislature as well. Also attended the Domestic Violence Awareness Month event that I was invited to out at Celebration Park over the weekend, and also attended on the same day, I had 3 events that same day, Stop the Violence with Victory Outreach, who invited me out to Community Park for their Stop the Violence event as well. So last but not least, in conclusion, I've already spoken a lot here, but I want to give a shout out to my son, who celebrated his 2nd birthday just last week, and just want to say happy birthday to Osias. So with that, we will go ahead and adjourn today's meeting exactly at 8 p.m. Have a good night, everyone.